Yo, what's good people? Welcome back to another video. Outside today, not the best weather, but just thought I'd come outside, get some active rest in, which is what I've been doing a lot recently. Really helped with my jumping, just to feel more mobile, to sort of get that stress and that stiffness out of my joints and my muscles. So that's something that's really been benefiting me, and I highly recommend just to try get some active rest into your routine, whether that's going for walks, going for a light jog, just playing some basketball, some pickup. All of that really helps with jumping. So that's a small piece of advice I'd give. But for this video's topic, I actually wanted to cover something that I wanted to for quite a while. I do get questions around this topic, especially for beginners. And this is something that beginners often struggle with a lot. And that's, you know, certain things that people talk about when it comes to the vertical jump, certain myths that aren't true. And I wanted to sort of expose them. Myths that, you know, aren't even true at all. And in fact, you know, a lot of the time people end up believing them, and then they can lose motivation when it turns out that they end up being false. So there's three main ones that I want to cover, and the first one is training harder instead of smarter. A lot of people think the harder you train, the better you're going to become at your vertical, which isn't true at all. Even though you want to train hard, you want to train smart at the same time. So a lot of people, when they're in their training, when they're doing a program, they might just do one that puts them through a lot of fatigue and a lot of exhaustion, thinking because they feel like that, it's going to have a bigger reward for their jump because they're more puffed out, they put harder work into the actual workout. Whereas that's only training their endurance. It's not going to be training their actual explosiveness. So if you think about it, a vertical jump is an explosive movement, so the training and the exercises you want to do should mimic that. It should be explosive, it shouldn't be fatiguing, it shouldn't be endurance based. And a lot of people have the misconception that going into a program and going into a workout, that the workouts should be really fatiguing and exhausting and have high repetitions in which you can't even give explosive, your 100% intensity to each rep, whereas keeping them nice and short and making sure that you can go explosive. So it's a lot about training smart and specific to what you want to increase, and not just training hard. And obviously that you come across those people that are like, oh man, just had the best vertical jump workout. Oh yeah, nice. What kind of stuff did you do? Just did 10 sets of 100 calf raises. Calves are burning. Went for a 3-kilometer jog, man. I'm exhausted. I'll be tired for the next week, man. So you want to increase your vertical jump and your training endurance. It's alright. That's all the same. Training's all the same. Doesn't matter. So that's a big one. Making sure that what you want to increase, whether it's your vertical or your strength, that the training you do is specific to actually increasing that. The second myth is people expecting to increase their vertical a big amount in a small amount of time. And a lot of the time it's because there's programs out there, scans that say, or you know, claim that they can improve your vertical by say 10 inches in 3 months. And for 99% of people that won't happen, just because it's not realistic, and gains like that have to come over a long period of time, especially 10 inches. Even for a beginner to gain 10 inches on their vertical, it's going to take a long time. So that's a huge myth, and when people do that program and they don't see those 10-inch increase in their vertical jump, they're going to get demotivated. So it's really important to make sure the program you choose is one that incorporates, you know, strength training and plyometrics, and one that tailors to vertical jump, you know, increasing your vertical jump, but one that's also realistic and doesn't have these false claims. So that's a huge thing. And when it comes to training your vert, patience is huge, guys. You can't look over patience, because that's the biggest thing. You got to be willing to do this for a long period of time. Even if you see minimal gains, even if you see 2 to 3 inches increase in your jump a year, that still is fairly good, and that should be looked at as success, because you're still gaining at least, instead of just being at the same spot. Now to the very last myth, and this is something that when people start out their training for the very first time, they're very skeptical about, and it's weight training has no benefit towards your vertical jump, and it actually stunts your growth. I'll tell you one thing, it definitely helps, and it definitely does not stunt your growth, given that you do the exercises correctly. So when starting out, I would recommend getting into the weight room if you can, and just start light. Don't have to start heavy, just start, you know, on the main list, just start with the bar. Don't have to go heavy, just get used to the movement for the first, you know, however long you need, first couple months, whatever it may be, and then from there you can slowly increase the weight. maybe get someone who's more experienced to watch over, make sure you're doing the form correctly, or get a personal trainer, but just don't skip out on the weight room altogether. The reason for that is because you need strength, and you need a lot of that strength to be converted quickly in order to have a good vertical jump. That's what jumping is. It's converting strength quickly, aka power. So if you have very minimal strength, there won't be much strength to convert into power. So you need to have a lot of strength, and then you need to be doing plyometrics and explosive movements, which will help your body convert that strength in a quick amount of time, aka jumping. So that's it for this video, guys. I just want to do a quick video talking about some myths that just aren't true at all. A lot of people get caught over these, and they really shouldn't be. They're just really dumb myths, and they're not true at all. So just make sure, you know, when you're going into your training, you train smart. You're making sure what you're doing is specific to what you want to increase. If you want to train for endurance, make sure you're doing endurance. If you want to train for explosiveness, make sure you're not training to fatigue and exhaustion. Making sure that you're patient. You're not trying to shortcut and do these cookie cutter programs that claim to get you a really big increase in your jump in a short amount of time. And that, you know, you're doing everything you possibly can in the weight room and outside the weight room to increase your jump. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. New dunk sesh video will be coming in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next vid. Peace!